and welcome to Add More Zest. And my name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. And if you saw Sunday's Whip and Waffle, I have finished Foxwoman from Oraloa, so hot off the press. It is time to de-kit this kit. So I do have some ABs. It's a round, so I only have 2 round boxes to deal with today. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go across in order rather than hunting for numbers. I've got both my boxes here. I'm going to put my ABs to one side because I do... Where have I put them? Okay, I'm going to find my current round ABs because I thought they were hung up here on the side and they're not. So we'll deal with that in a minute. So yeah, we're just going to start. I do have a couple that I do actually still have a little bit left in, like the extras. I probably don't have much left in the rest, but let's hope that I remember those when it comes to actually de-kitting. Oh, and we start off with a number that I have not had in rounds before. So we will be updating my logbook today with these. So I'm going to pop this to the side, a little bit further to the right than the ABs, and I will bring those back in when it comes to updating my logbook. I will do it all together. So we've got quite a few things already to do today. We have ABs to sort out, we have a logbook to update. So yeah, let's see if we can get some of these diamonds away. I will show you the completed image if you haven't yet watched the Whip and Waffle, or maybe you don't tend to watch Whip and Waffles. I will show you the painting once I've got all the diamonds and stuff away. I'll let you see what that looks like. I like to flatten down my bags as I go along, but these stickers so far, check this one's the same, yes, have come off the bottles perfectly fine, so that's good. It would have been bad if I'd have said it and then that one would have ripped off and left loads of markings behind, but it hasn't. We're all good. This was a really, really nice painting to do. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I am rather excited. Oh, there we go. See, this sticker's now giving me problems. Let me try getting it from the other side. Come on, I don't want to have to goo gone as well. Just a little bit that's ripped off, but actually it's not leaving any sticky residue. Once I am getting the paper off, it is completely fine. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed doing this one. I am rather excited to kit up a large square painting. I enjoy both squares and rounds, but especially after I've done a big round painting, it reminds me how much I do enjoy my square. Sorry, I miss my squares. It reminds me how much I enjoy squares, because I do enjoy doing the actual round ones. But I think squares does still have just a little bit of my, you know, pure love is for squares. Oh, another one, another new number. But yeah, I wouldn't want to never to pick between one or the other and not be able to do anything else. So yeah, I really, really enjoy both of them. There's quite a lot of colours in this one. I do keep trying to remember to check those two up the top, but I did notice they're both sort of tealy blue colours. So that should prompt me to double check when I've got those numbers. I could actually, let's just tip them into the bottles now, because to be fair, while it is an extra little step to combine both the bottles, it's still easier than tipping the two of them into the bags. I will just have the one to tip into the bags. In fact, let's just do it. Let's just do those ones instead. Let's do it that way. 964. So I'm just deciding to do the two bottles, the two of them that I have extras of first, because otherwise I am just going to miss them. I'm going to get the bulk of the way through and then remember that I've forgotten to do those two. So we'll just stop that from happening because that would annoy me more than these stickers are. Okay, I definitely spoke too soon because this sticker is now being a royal. Oh, though this is a different type of bottle, so maybe that's it. I did notice, because I do often sort of, potentially I have pulled bottles out from cases or switched bottles. I don't know whether it's come to me different, but I don't know if you can see these sit prouder than this one does. So this bottle is actually not really from this set. Now I have loads of others. That one's a better match. Let's just trade that out. I have a drawer full of extra bottles. A lot of them are from my Art Dot case because I use it for my Paint Gem minis, and the bottom row of it, the bottom row of it, I put the paintings in. So I tipped all of the diamonds out, all of the bottles out, and put them in a drawer. So I do have, oh, another new number. So I do have loads and loads of extra bottles. I also have them from other things as well. So plenty of diamonds left over from that one. Let's say the little bit that was in the pot as an extra was just because it wouldn't fit in the original pot. Quite often I will actually sort of refill those pots, you know, when I'm getting near the end of the painting. I'll make sure that I scoop them all over, but for some reason I didn't with this one. I feel like the last part of it didn't actually take me that long to do, so maybe that's why. But yeah, I have loads of spare bottles. I'm kind of glad that that's done because I think that is the only one bottle that was sort of lower in my case than the rest. And it did kind of annoy me the whole time I was diamond painting. Only a little bit. Every now and then I'd look over. Oh, another new number. I'd look over and I'd be like, oh, that one's lower. That one's lower. And it wasn't like it was a symbol that I, you know, kept missing where it was. So I was kind of glad that it was pointed out by the fact that it was different. So yeah, it's kind of nice to actually switch that out while I'm here. I should really find myself some cases that come without bottles. Blank ones, and fill them up. In fact, my 70 bottle case is actually a case that I got that is, it's advertised, it was advertised on Amazon as for holding essential oils, the little bottles of essential oils. So it did come empty, and I should go looking for another one that's empty, because I would expect it to be a little bit less in cost, and therefore I could have another case for a cheaper price and put all my tiny little bottles to use. That would be a plan. I'll have to see if I can go finding a pattern that I like. But then again, I have plenty of cases, so let's see. Right, 928. I do actually want this one. There is a benefit to de-kitting in order. I feel like I'm a little bit all over the place today, but I do still think it's easier than going hunting for all of the numbers. I just go hunting in here rather than in there. Okay, 9 to 8. Right, that's an AB. So let's take that one out of the equation. 7, 4, 1. Some orange. Gorgeous colour for the box. So to anybody that's new here, yes, I do keep my spares. No, I don't split up colours where the shading is ever so slightly different. I put them all into one bag. That is a personal preference. I know some people do prefer to keep their shades separate, and you do you, because your way is the right way for you. I am not going to go and force my right way on anybody else, because then it becomes about me and not about you. So if you prefer to keep your colours separate, if there's a slight shading difference, then do it. It is the way to do it. If you don't like to save your spares, then that's also the right way to do it. But can you see I've got a couple of different colours in there? I personally, originally, when I first started this spare storage box, when I came up with this design years and years ago, which is now hugely widespread across the diamond painting community, to the point that nobody knows where it originated from, apart from me and my original followers. Yeah, like when I first started it, I used to have multiple bags. So I actually used to separate. At the time, it was diamonds from Evermoment, the company on AliExpress, which I'm actually going to be ordering diamonds for my Heaven and Earth design from. And I think I may order another painting from them because I do love their diamonds. I used to keep those separate, as a separate manufacturer, and I know some people do now. Some people still keep their likes of Diamond Art Club separate to their other diamonds. I also used to keep them separate by shade. What I personally found was, as I have diamond painted more and more, and it has been years and years now that I've been diamond painting, that even my spare storage for my diamonds, which my squares, I have 4 of these boxes, even though I have used a gazillion of those diamonds on a Heaven and Earth design, on my special project for Heaven and Earth design, I still found I was just getting more and more. See, I've got another one. My rounds are like my squares used to be. I used to be forever finding that I'd got a new colour, whereas now my squares, I just have absolutely loads of them. Yeah, and it was that whole debate, you've got to have that whole think of what is better to me, having the spare diamonds or having the storage space that those spare diamonds take. And that is personal between you and your own storage space. If you have a huge craft room, you live in a house or in a country where you can have lots of space that doesn't cost, you know, a ginormous amount of money, then yeah, by all means, keep them separate, have multiple boxes. Again, do what suits you. I live in the UK, so therefore our houses are generally smaller than the likes of some you'll see in the States. They do tend to be bigger than the likes of a New York apartment, but you know, it's different areas have different things, and frankly I value my space more than multiple options for my diamonds. So I have taken the decision to limit myself on the amount of spares that I keep hold of. and that is no more than one bag per like DMC number in both square and round. So I only have one bag for my 307s. Once that bag is full, and in fact 310, the one in here, oh, is actually in the wrong place. But the one in here, I have taken a load of them out to allow me to de-kit them into here. But I have quite a few bags of 310 in my giveaway box. So I don't go any more than one bag, and then they go to be given away to others that may need spare diamonds, passed on to people for other projects and things like that, other heaven and earth designs that people may be doing. And therefore I do mix multiple different shades of diamonds, because if I do run out of a diamond, who's to know what shade is going to match best from the company that, you know, produced the original diamonds. So the plan is, if and when, and it has happened, it actually happened this year, I did run out of a colour on one of my paintings. I will just tip these into one of our mega trays, our big trays, and I will pick the closest match and put them on my painting, and the rest will go back into the bag, because the next time I am short of diamonds or potentially run out of diamonds, it could be the same colour, but same DMC number, but it could be one of the other shades that I have saved. So yeah, that's why I do it like that. However, this photo box storage method will work for either of those options. So if you do want to have them organised, some people like to keep their spares and play like sand art and just tip them all into a jar. Perfectly fine. I wouldn't like to try and find a colour I'm missing doing it that way, but it may be something that doesn't bother you. Like, you know, if you do have a colour that you're short of, you're happy to ask someone if they have some they can send you, or contact the company and of course wait for them to be sent to you. I'm too impatient for that. If I run out of one, I want to be able to grab some out of my spares box and finish my diamond painting when I want to finish my diamond painting. So yeah, if you want to be able to store your spares and want to be able to store them by DMC number, then this box will work whether you allow one bag per divider or whether you have 5 bags per divider. It will still work either way, and that's why I like this. I started off with both my rounds and my squares being in the same box. So behind, for example, 519, I would have one bag for squares and one bag for rounds, and I had my spares like that for ages before I did decide to split them up, and splitting them up has worked for me. It does allow me to, one, not potentially make a mistake of picking up the wrong bag, either the square or the round, and tipping them in together. I don't think it actually happened, but that was always, you know, a potential that I could end up tipping rounds into the square bag or squares into the round bag, especially while I'm chatting and doing videos at the same time. But yeah, it's just easier. Like when I de-kit a round now, I'm only grabbing 2 boxes. I'm not grabbing 5 or potentially 6 boxes that I've been up to now if they were all together. Whereas my squares take 4 boxes, because a lot of my large paintings are squares. Overall, if you counted the diamond paintings that I've done more squares than rounds. A lot of the time my round paintings are actually the smaller paintings, the 30 by 40s. I do have a few large ones, as like the one I've just done, but the majority of my round paintings are small ones. And for the small ones, of course, you get less leftover diamonds because it's a percentage kind of thing. the bigger the painting, the more spares you tend to have. So yeah, I find this system works absolutely perfect for me, and has worked perfect for me even as I've gone along. I've tweaked things. I've gone from having multiple bags to having one bag. I've even had a series where I've changed from your standard cheap little grip seal bags to these tougher and thicker ones, which are really, really nice. It was actually Diana that got me into them by sending me some from America, and forever grateful. I use them every time I dekit. So yeah, I have changed those, and of course I've changed the stickers once we started selling those in our shop. I moved over to prettying up my storage with the stickers too. It's also a great system if you are new to diamond painting and you want to start saving your spares. Some people, myself included, love sitting and setting up a new spares box. Like if I was just starting diamond painting and didn't have any box for storing my spares, I would be happy as a pig in muck, let's say, to sit and put all my stickers on my little cards and line everything up and put my stickers on my baggies and all the rest of it. Creating organisation like that to me is a happy place, and I would quite happily sit there and do that. However, that is not everybody. There are a lot of people that like the pretty but don't like the process of getting the pretty, and that's okay too. You can actually do this sort of as you go along. So for anybody that is sort of daunted that they would like this type of storage box but they don't want to sit there putting it together for hours, then don't. Just put in your cards. So start with one box. If you like to have all your boxes matching, you might want to get a few to start off with, like get a few of the boxes, but just put them to one side and just start putting in the DMC numbers as you dekit a kit. So it might take you a little bit longer to dekit, but you could go through it bit by bit. So for example, if you were first kit, you're dekitting 996, you grab a card, you put your sticker on, you grab a bag, you put your sticker on, you tip your diamonds in to dekit, and then you pop 996 in the right number place so that it's, you know, the latest number after 995. If you haven't got 995, it could be the latest number after 415, and you could just start off with a little row, and you only store in your box anything that actually has diamonds. And each time you dekit, you may have less and less diamonds that you need to create a little bag for, and then all you need to keep hold of is just your little sheet of stickers and your bits of card and your stickers for the front, which you could even just write on if you wanted, and you can just create it bit by bit if sitting there and doing it all at once doesn't excite you. Or if you live local, just drop it off and I'll do it all for you and then pass it back. Because, say, setting up little things like that is something that I personally enjoy. You may have a friend that enjoys it. You may have somebody local to you that enjoys it, that would more than happily sit there and put stickers on cards for you and get it all done. But you don't have to do it that way. There is always a way round things, and doing things a small amount each day. I've definitely found with my latest endeavour to complete some of my what I call special projects. So I've talked about it in my Whip and Waffles, but I have quite a few things business-wise that sort of float around in my head that I'd like to do, but they have multiple steps until they're able to be done. And I just don't have the time at the moment to take those multiple steps in, like, you know, one sitting or within 1 week or whatever it is. So the projects that I've had floating around in my head haven't been going anywhere apart from on a list. They're still very much floating around in my head. I have very recently, over the last few weeks, allotted myself a special task on my daily list. And for that is to do something towards one of my special tasks. And it's been working fantastic. One of my tasks I've already got completed. Another one, which is actually a really, really big special task in relation to time, I am chipping my way through that at a fantastic rate, or at least a rate I'm really happy with, all by doing a little bit each day. Some days I've been able to spend an hour or so on it. Hubby had a hospital appointment recently and I took my computer and I was able to get a couple of hours worth done. But more often than not, on a day-to-day basis, 5 minutes is all I'm spending on it. 5 minutes. That's not the right number. That's 3850. I did think it was weird that I didn't have 3750 already, which is like not 939, but fairly dark. It's because I got the wrong number. It's because I'm talking while I'm doing. Yeah, and I have chipped away at that special project. I did it with my Heaven and Earth design, my massive project Heaven and Earth design painting that is 40 centimetres by 2.5 metres in length. And, you know, after it took 4 years, but there was definitely a period, and in fact the last half of it was done within the last year. Like in the last year of it, because of course if you get to the middle of something you just sort of slow down. Well, taking a challenge to do a section of my Heaven and Earth design per day on my to-do. I mean, that was a bigger one in the fact that it took me about 45 minutes to an hour per day. So I'd do it for a month and then I'd stop for a bit before I'd then do it again. But even if I'd have decided to maybe do 15 minutes on it per day, it still would have been done a lot quicker than the way I was going, which was only doing it when time allowed. So, all that to say, if something like this is something that you want, but it is not something that you enjoy the process of doing, then either put it down into chunks and you just do it as and when you dekit. As part of your dekitting process, the finish the painting finale, or break it down into a project where you just do 10 minutes or even just 10 cards. Set it up to you what sort of system you prefer, but maybe you go, okay, I'm going to do 10 cards per day, pop my stickers on my bags, and then that's it, I'm done. And it's amazing how much you can achieve when doing things like that. The whole baby steps method, it does work. It does work. And a lot of the time it's just remembering that you can focus on something. I wouldn't recommend to, add yourself 10 different baby steps, 10 different projects to your day, but add one until you feel that you can, manage adding a second maybe. If you've got things you'd like to do, home life, work life. Just don't do too many of them, because that's when it becomes overwhelming and you end up stopping all of them. Anyway, goodness me, it's like a dekitting turns into a waffly McWaffle fest as we go along. But yeah, all the details for the sizing, for my dividers and all that sort of stuff is available on the website. Oh, don't do that. Get in, get back in. Got got a bit heavy-handed there and managed to pick up a few. Yeah, so all the details are on my website for sizing, measurements. We do sell the card, the stickers on our website. We do also sell these little bookmarks for helping you know where your dividers are. Foam board and photo boxes is sort of your local craft area. And baggies are linked on the website. They're actually from Amazon, but I have got those linked on the website. We haven't been able to find a supplier of them that allows us to be anywhere near as good a price as Amazon. So we'll just keep the link there for you guys for Amazon for that one. But yeah, and there's multiple videos on it when I've created new storage boxes, when I've revamped my storage boxes, and you can even go back and see the original where I just use little stickers that I wrote the numbers on, because I did try the binder method with baseball card things and it just did not work for me. It just ended up that it wasn't lay flat and neat and tidy. But you can do this with a shoebox. So get yourself a shoebox with a lid, ideally. You, instead of the foam board here, you could use some thick brown cardboard. I think I originally did my mock-up one using some cardboard from a box. You could even create your divider from the likes of cereal boxes from snacks, and just turn it round so your design's on your other side. So you can potentially do this with practically 0 pennies, with things that are around the house. If it's something that you want to do and maybe budget doesn't allow at the moment for the full-on pretty, then, you know, get your cereal boxes, cut them down into your little dividers. Use a thicker cardboard box to give you some dividers down the middle. There's multiple different types of boxes you can use. This photo box size ended up working perfectly for me, but of course to come up with this system I had to go looking for boxes that would potentially work for it, and I just used the baggies that I got at the time that was slightly wider than this, but only by a smidge, and I was literally holding them up this way and saw I could get 3, but I also held multiple up this way to see if this way would be better, where I opened them, you know, and worked from the side. So, you know, just get baggies, whether they be ones that potentially come in kits or whether you can afford some. I have linked on the website some of the thinner bags. Now they're just from eBay in the UK, but there will be some available from other eBay, just small, like these are 2" by 3". My other ones I think were 2 1/4 by 3", something like that. There wasn't a lot of difference between them, but I think when I originally bought them they were like £3 something for the bags. They weren't a lot at all, and I got them so that they would all be sort of universal size, as in within my box they would all be one size. And then just grab a box, whether it have a lid or not. Grab a box and just, you know, hold them up to see whether this way works or this way works, and then just use some thicker card to give yourself a little divider, just so that they stand up and in order, and away you go. You can create yourself a storage box and keep all your pretty diamonds in case you ever end up with a kit where you run out, or in case you want to create other stuff. So you can also use them to jazz up, you know, wooden items, wooden coasters, put pretty designs on notebooks, all sorts. Right, that is my standard round ones away. I've still got my AB diamonds out. So I'm going to put these boxes back on my shelf, bob those away, and then before I go hunting for my ABs, let's do it. Let's update my logbook first. So my spares are in here. So this is my logbook with my list of DMC numbers and all my spare diamonds that I have. And this is what I want to update with these. So 727, I already had it in square. I can now tick to say I have it in round. And remove the sticker. Removing these stickers is a pain. So this is like another, what we call a bit more of a bite-size project. Just by doing them as I dekit is so much easier than leaving them all till the end. Right, 909, I already had them in square. I now have them in round 2. And as you may be able to see by my book, there are still a few in square and round, or square all round, that I don't have. But I have much more in square than I do in round. 3354, I now have in both. So let's get that sticker off. And now they're all ripping. After the first couple came off so nice. There we go. 3722, I now have in both. In fact, there's one. 3731, I actually have that in round, but not in square. So it does go the other way on some, but I definitely have more square in general than I do round. So that one, and then 3851. I now have in round 2. Oh, that one came off. Beautiful. So that's that done. That's my normal spares. And then I do have my ABs here. So 321, I now have in round as well as square. 666, I actually already have in both. That's the next one. 740, I didn't have in round, I now do. And then 3841, I now have in round. I actually don't have it in square, but I do have it in round. So that's, no, I did have 666, didn't I? Yeah. I've got 3 new ones. That's it. 3 new ones in round. So my logbook's all been updated. I actually have 4 of these. This is just my work in progress and my spares. I keep those 2 together. So where did I put my ABs? See, I had a sort out of my ABs and I normally keep them in these bags, and I'm pretty sure I kept the round ones in those bags. I think I may have just moved them off that side. And this is where I can't remember what I did with them. Found them. They are still stored in the baggies. I just chose to put them, this is actually an IKEA plant pot that sits nicely on my calyx. So what I've done is I've actually moved them into here. Just my rounds, my squares are somewhere else. So I want to find 666. And these tend to be, well, they were sorted primarily by colour. There we go. So there is 666. I use a blue sticker for my ABs, and then I actually have the Diamond Art Club code that's in pink. But on my spare storage in my boxes, I use the pink stickers. So I just use 2 different colours of the stickers, but they can go together. So they're done. And they can go back in there with the reds. But these ones I need to do stickers for. So these are my spare packs of stickers. So they're square. They're square. Where's my round? There's my round. So this is what you could in effect do if you were, you know, like I do with my ABs. You do it with your, you know, full diamond colours. And just update them as you go along. So you get 3 bags. You get my number stickers. So they're my 2 full sheets. And then I have my part sheet. I've just chopped the bottom off it. So 3, 2, 1. And this is sometimes how I check whether I've got them or not, is just check my stickers. And I am going to start putting my sticker at the bottom, because if I do put them back on the hooks, it's easier when it's on the bottom. So 3, 2, 1. Bob that one in. And if I do get to the point where I get, you know, plenty more AB diamonds, then I will potentially store them in DMC order. But more often than not at the moment, when I do decide to use an AB, I tend to use them to replace in other diamond paintings that I have, primarily my paint gems. So I mainly use my square ones. And I prefer to search by colour, because sometimes, especially with ABs, the 740 with an AB coating can look slightly different than 740 without a coating. So this can actually be a replacement for the likes of 741 as well as 740. It can sometimes replace a couple of different colours. So I like to store my ABs by colour for that reason. So 3841, bob that one in. That is a pretty colour. Pretty AB colour. Pull off my last sticker, thanking myself for pulling off all the other stickers as I went. And then I'm going to pop that blue in with the blues, the orange in with the orange, and the reds in with the reds. I agree. I must admit, I don't go for my round ABs as much as I do for my square, but who's to say I won't in the future. And then I just pop these back into the original bag they come in, and these go on my shelf for the next time I need an AB number. There's actually quite a few gone there for my rounds. So ABs are done. Storage case is done. I don't think... there's a couple of little bits that have got sticky residue, but not a huge amount. Let's see if they'll just wipe off. I can get my Goo Gone out if I need to, but I try to just get rid of the worst bits if I do only have a couple. There we go. But I do like my cases to be nice before they go away. Just makes it nicer when I'm working with a shiny new kit if my case is pretty. And then last but by no means least, put my case back on my shelf. I will show you Fox Woman. So this is a 60 by 60 diamond painting from Oraloa, and it will be linked down below. It does have, as you've just seen, 4 different ABs, which I'm sure you can see the extra twinkle. There's actually quite a bit in the orange in her hair. There doesn't tend to be much in the background. There is a little bit. This pale blue was that gorgeous new 3841. So there is a little bit of it in the background, but not a huge amount. They have mainly focused on the fox and the woman. So say primarily a hare, and yeah, there's a little bit in the flower above, and then we've got the fox's ear, face, etc. But I think it's absolutely stunning. So I'm going to go and make sure I take a photo of this for my logbook, and we have a completion in May, which also means we'll have a kit up again soon. So stay tuned. I will be kitting up a new painting next week, and my decision wheel doesn't have much left on it, which basically means it's time to do a large square. But join me for that, and I will be getting my decision wheel out, but for a different reason, and you'll be able to see that soon. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.